but no charge in RPP. They are then obviously not anonymous in terms of this process. Can you confirm whether one of those was the other bid?
No, we're not going to comment on that. If you want to ask Mr. Chowdhury or IPP and they want to go public on it, that's up to them. We are not discussing any of the other bids, we're just discussing the preferred bidder.
Have they been told whether they were one of the front two?
No, all the other bidders have been told that they are not the preferred bidder, all told at the same time.
So they haven't been told whether they were one of the
Well, it doesn't matter whether you're second, third, fourth or fifth, does it really?
Mr. Ryder's company is based all in his business in the UK.
I'm not absolutely certain about that, but he has substantial UK business interests. I don't know whether he's got any overseas interests.
Where's he based, Bob? Is he a local guy? Is he down south? Where's he?
He's actually, his home address I think is in Lancashire, but he has business interests all over the country.
Has he ever had any connections with football before or football clubs?
I'm not absolutely sure. I mean, when he comes to the fans forum, that's something.
I think he tried to get an interest last year.
He did try to get an investment in Port Vale previously, but he eventually declined because I think the words he used were he couldn't cope with the politics.
Has he got an affiliation to Port Vale that he's driving for now? Is he family got supporters?
I don't think he's traditionally been, because he's not local, I'm not aware that he's traditionally been a Vale supporter, but he has tried to get involved with the Vale at board level before and to make a substantial investment to do so. But as I say, he declined, he walked away from that because he couldn't cope with the politics of the situation.
Can I just ask, gents, where does this situation, if everything goes according to plan and Mr. Ryder comes more down the line and CBA is approved and everything, tick all the boxes, where does this leave the manager in terms of putting a squad together for next season? Because he's in a position, I would imagine, now where he's starting to think
we as administrators will not be entering into any contracts in our own position for next season. That never happens. What usually happens is that we will have, after the Easter break, Mr. Ryder will come down, he'll sit with us, he'll tell us what he wants to do about the catering for next season, what he wants to do about sponsorship for next season. He'll discuss with Mickey what Mickey's needs are for next season. They'll come to hopefully a mutual decision, how much money, what players, and then he can, with Mickey, indicate to the players the contracts he's prepared to sign on, say, the 1st of July with them. So we don't sign it, but all the paperwork's done so it can be immediately signed, and because he has paid for the right to exclusivity, he will have our full support in anything he wants to do, as long as it doesn't cost me and Bob money. Unfortunately, in the meantime, we've gone ahead with next season's season ticket prices, which we're selling from next week onwards. That money will still be ring-fenced, as I tell the supporters, until we get to the 30th of June and the whole deal is completed, at which point the money we're holding will then be passed to the new owners. Does that answer your question?
I think it's worth saying as well that he has indicated that he wants to have a meeting with Mickey Adams as soon as he comes back from his Easter holiday to discuss things like players for next year. He's also got some pretty, I think, correct ideas as to what can be done to improve the way the club can be run here, not on the playing side, but on the non-playing side. As I don't think the club's always exploited to the full its potential for non-football income, and he's got some ideas as to what he would like to do there as well.
I think it's just a question of reassuring supporters that we're not going to get to a situation where middle of June, early July, we've got, you know, 4 players on the books and it's, you know, a situation you can't plan.
I don't think that will occur. I think with winning on all sides, and we've got winning on all sides here now, you know, everybody's pulling the same way. We think once Mickey and Ken have had words, they can put in train the paperwork ready to be signed, and the players hopefully will be a lot more relaxed because a lot of the uncertainty will be disappearing and we'll end up with a period of certainty.
Is it, sorry, is it Ryder with a Y or an I?
That's a very good question. It's with a Y.
With a Y.
Does he intend to keep the season ticket prices then exactly as you said?
Well, once we started selling them, we started selling them. So he's aware we're doing this, and he hasn't commented.
How does that affect match day prices then on the turnstile?
I think I've just answered that question. We've set the prices. If he wants to reduce them after it's completed, that's up to him. But he hasn't indicated anything on that, so it's not. You know, he can do what he wants with them. If he wants to reduce the match day prices, that'll be up to him. He will look at what he needs commercially to make this a viable club.
I think, in fairness, he only knew yesterday that we were going to recommend him as the preferred bidder, so it's early days to have got into that sort of detail.
Was he a late bidder or one of the early ones? Has he always been interested from the very outset?
I don't think we want to get into the ins and outs of what's going on behind the bidding process. I don't think it's fair on any of the parties, so I'd rather not answer that.
All the bids came in before lunchtime Monday, let's put it that way. In fact.
The council, in terms of the council debt, are they owed, because obviously you need 75% of the whole value, are they owed 75%? Will it need approval from other creditors, or do the council, they owe the 75%?
If other creditors vote against, and there's only one creditor that ever votes against, I'm not going to name them, but we all know who they are, I think that the council outvote that vote. I'm sure all the football creditors will vote in favour, which will just make the majority higher.
So you think it'll be a formality?
There's no such thing as a guarantee in life or football, but I've been confident from the beginning that the CBA this time will go through.
Is there anything you can say about his bid in terms of his vision for the club?
No, I think that's up to him to say.
He will say that. He's asked me to read the statement this morning, which I have done. He's on business out of the area today and sends his apologies. I know he's got his Easter holiday planned abroad with his family for the next week from tonight. But when he comes back from that, he's going to sit down with Mickey, and then he's going to have a fans forum to answer the fans' questions. And no doubt a lot of that will come out a fortnight tonight at that session.
So on his behalf, leave him in peace for a week, because he's going to be a very busy man when he comes back.
Now, I know that's not nice for the newspapers, but
Right about Stoke next week.
he's the Vale reporter, he's not allowed to do that.
I didn't say I had to write anything nice, I just said right about Stoke. Any other questions?
You can't say how much it is, but the club went for 1.225 last
We're not mentioning any figures.
Can't say whether it's higher or lower.
Stop trying to do a taxman.
Steve, no matter how much you try, we're not going to give you a number.
Oh,
Okay, it will be, the notices will be posted out next week,
that's when we'll find out.
and that's when you'll
If you
find
go
out.
to Company's House, there'll be a copy there.
Oh.
I'm sure
Unless
you'll be
you're a
talking-
creditor. If you're a
I'm sure you'll
creditor.
talk to one of the creditors and they'll tell you.
That it?